My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, the podcast that shows spiritual entrepreneurs how to clarify their message and then how to turn that clarity into revenue. I'm your host, Prima Jope, a mentor and message expert since 2020. Whether you seek to simply clarify your message or feel ready to monetize your brilliance, this is your safe space for actionable guidance and practical tools on how to turn your woo into predictable revenue. Let's get started, shall we? Welcome back. And today is a day for Stephanie Keenan. Today we're going to talk about all things skincare. Because I find that a lot of people in this world think that the magic is in the bottle, that bottle that is holding the cream, and you're looking for the latest and trendiest, and then all these companies come up, and this is Aunt Rico, and Spot, and White, and this, and this, and this. And you look in your cupboard and go, what is this? If you open your cupboard today and you're like, what is all this madness? You have creams and creams and creams, and you don't even know which one is which. This is your conversation. Stephanie is someone who sat with herself and decided to learn skincare and decided to learn all of these things. And the work she does really is to help women age gracefully from the School of Hard Knocks. Because how you look really determines your confidence and determines a lot of things. But the mistake that Stephanie is here to address is skin problems are not skin problems. There's more to the skin that is not making you happy. There is more to whatever is manifesting on your skin. It's not the skin, and it's not the next lotion and potion. It's everything in between. Skincare gets to be holistic. It gets to be bits and pieces. And so hopefully today she's going to give us that secret recipe, which I'm sure she's going to refuse to give us. But there's that secret recipe that ends up on our skin, but doesn't look like skincare. And that's the conversation today. The expert is here. And so let's just focus on the expert. I have my theories about skincare, but the expert is here. Stephanie, welcome to the podcast. It's my honor to be talking all things skin today with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And that was a great opening. It's so true. Everything that you said is 100% true.
What did you wish I added to that introduction that is so misunderstood about skincare?
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically did say it. You hit it on the head that everybody's looking for that magic cream, that thing that's going to make them 20 years younger. And it really is so much deeper than that. It's our insides out. You know, stress ultimately is the biggest thing that affects our bodies, and that's stress from life, but also stress from the environment, stress from all these different things that affect how we sleep, how we eat, how our immune system is, and then it ultimately shows up on our face. So if we want to age gracefully, one of the biggest things is to learn how to manage our stress and learn how to care for ourselves internally as well as externally. So it's a combination. It's not just that magic cream.
Wow. I personally do not care for the arms and the other parts of the body. My focus is always like my face. My face is the thing that can decide to go crazy. My other body it's not high maintenance. I could use just a cream, a lotion with nothing special. Like I use Elizabeth Arden's or something, and it's always like fine. My face, however, that's where the problem comes. So are we talking skincare for the face? Are we talking skincare for the entire body? What kind of skincare are we discussing today?
I mean, most people primarily do think about the face. When working with me, it's very individualized. So, like, I
Mm,
had a woman in one of my courses who she was primarily concerned about the backs of her hands. You know, that's one of the places that ages first because we're driving and the sun and all different
mm,
things.
mm,
So, we did some things to try and made a special blend for her that helped brighten and hydrate the skin better. And she was very impressed with it. But there's elements where I will look at the whole body in thinking about, teaching people how to do like a lymphatic massage that is going to help move the lymph, which moves the toxins through our body and helps everything operate better.
mm.
So depending, there is that conversation of do we care for our whole body, or yes, we should care for our whole body, but I agree, a lot of people, it's we take a shower, we maybe throw some lotion on, that's about it, when it comes to our bodies, but our face is so sensitive and different that
Mm.
it yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me simplify what we are doing here. We're going to talk about how to care for how you age in a
How
way
you
that
age.
is empowering so that the
Yes.
next advert, the next promotion, the next sale does not take your heart. So, oh, the next cream, the next discount, like all these discounts are there, but that's not the skin secret. And so today we're going to
Mm-hmm.
really talk about what is this formula for the skin. How
Mm-hmm.
long have you been doing this work?
About 20 years. I've honestly been interested in holistic wellness since I was a child.
Mm,
I wanted to run off and become a chiropractor in sixth grade, so I taught myself reflexology and quickly was like doing reflexology on my dad and realizing that I was helping him pass kidney stones and things like that easier and with less pain. So
mm,
it was very rewarding very quickly. And I just kept learning different holistic practices that when I was a kid, I kind of said, I'm just a renaissance. Like when I was in my early 20s, I'd be like, I'm a Renaissance woman. I know a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And at 40 something, it all finally fell into place. I utilize so many of the tools that I've learned throughout my life at this point in coaching and in the spa room. But I've been interested in holistic healing since I was a kid and got into aesthetics in my late 20s. And then started this coaching program around COVID time when I was going to be teaching a class about how to make your own skincare products and whatnot. And we had to take it online. And I realized I probably can help more people here because in the aesthetics room, I nobody wants to talk about what they're eating and what their stress level is. They just want me to
mm,
do my job, right? So that's why it evolved. And
mm.
yeah, and it's been an interesting journey.
Okay, so there we are. We're going to talk about everything Stephanie does, how she does it, and her process when people come to her for
Mhm.
skincare. But Stephanie, like, where did you pick the interest? Like, what was it about skin that got you interested? Do you have a story of skin? Like, what is the point at which you decided that you wanted to study this, immerse yourself in this, or what's your story with skin stuff?
I when I got into aesthetics is kind of crazy.
Mm.
I was doing catering. I'd been doing catering for years and I was just tired of talking to people. So
Hmm.
I really just wanted to do something that made people feel good. I had originally thought I would do massage, but I had very cracky wrists and I didn't think anybody would want a massage from me. Uh and I found an aesthetic school and I was like, I want to go for thought spa therapy and really just it was always in that mindset of natural and spa and that whole wellness is where I really leaned from the beginning.
Hmm.
But and at the time the medical aesthetics was what was flying off the shelves. Everybody was going to learn, the medical stuff. And I was like, nope, I want the spa therapy and the natural. Um, and then probably a few years later, as I really delved into it, I personally was under a ton of stress at the place I was working. I had just gotten married, and there's the stress of all of that. And then it became winter. And so I ended up having this terrible dermatitis that's around my eyes and my nose and my mouth. And it was really horrible. And I realized probably 3 months into having this crazy irritation on my face that I just could not really get a hold of, that it was my gut health, my stress, the overwhelm, and it actually, I had hit that point where you think, you're so stressed out that you think you're good. You think that you feel that, oh, I'm managing it. It's all good. And then I took a class about something that just opened my eyes, and I realized, oh, wait, I am under a ton of stress. My gut health is rubbish because it's been the holidays and all these different things. And I immediately implemented a few things that helped boost my gut health, and I used some very calming things on my face. And in about 3 days, my skin shifted, and that was the lightning bolt for me that said, okay, we need to dig into this a little bit more and realize that, again, yeah, even as an esthetician, I was like not necessarily connecting all the dots. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh. So what's the thing? And I know we already talked about the secret is in the bottle, but take us through that process. If I came to you now and I was like, what
Mm-hmm.
should I use? What's the latest thing? My face,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't like my wrinkles, whatever the problem is. Take me through like that process of getting me to a place where I'm empowered to age
Mm-hmm.
gracefully? Or what is the thing that I need to know before that part? Before the
Yeah.
process, is there something we need to know before like the process when I walk into your work and I go, I need another cream. This is showing my
Yeah.
wrinkles or whatever. Like this is not doing the magic, I'm aging. I
Yeah.
want, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so oftentimes I will do a first, a 30-minute skin consult for free where we just talk about, what is, kind of identifying your skin type, identifying your concerns and then your goals,
Mm,
and trying to figure out what is the best path for you. Where you where your focus is, so let's say it's wrinkles. We're going to then think about, what is your stress level? What is your sleep? Are you sleeping properly? How are you eating, and all these things, and because when we first identify that skin type as well, and any issues that are going on with it, it's to figure out both the skin things, the typical skin things that can happen, but then what could
mm,
be playing a role. Like if you are typically oily and suddenly you're dry, it could be that you're hitting menopause and whatnot, but it's also, there could be other things going on. So it's like being a detective. And that first call is my way to figure out how to approach it for you specifically. And then from there, we'll go into the coaching where um I automatically kind of give a little tip on that free consult so that, like you can start doing something, so that when we have our
mm.
next meeting, you'll already feel a little like, oh, that worked. That was good. And then we go forward from there, and we have those harder conversations of, what's going on with life, what's going on with your body, and then helping them, whether it's adding some vitamins into their regime, whether it's managing their stress in different ways. One thing I love to do, and I like to mix it up a little bit, of both skincare, not just focusing on what's happening in our bodies, but
Mm.
obviously providing some skincare advice. Typically, I try to make it as simple as possible. Um, yeah, some people have regimens of 1,000 steps. I like to keep it very simple because most people don't have time for that and don't really want that, especially if they lean on the natural side. They're like, I just throw a little something on my face and go. But one of my big things that I love to encourage is to like mask and meditate. That's my little thing that I like to teach people is just making a simple mask, oftentimes with things that are in your own kitchen that are nourishing and hydrating and calming and soothing to your skin, and then putting it on and doing something that will help you find some calming and some peace, right? So it could be meditation, but if you're not a meditator, that's okay. Maybe take a bath, maybe just veg out and watch the Netflix, whatever it is that makes you feel calm and have a little self-care time, or sit and read a book, that just giving yourself 20-30 minutes to be present with yourself is very helpful, and that's like, just starting with that little maybe once a week ritual helps them, and then teaching them little 1-minute rituals in their self-care. So a lot of times I do teach them to make custom essential oil blends that are great for their skin, using natural oils that are going to feed their skin. And that oftentimes is their moisturizer as well. So when they go to put that on, taking it and putting it on their hands and just having that 2-second calming, soothing ritual of self-care, like putting it in their hands, smelling it, and then applying it to their skin, and then maybe even taking one more deep breath and treating it like an actual meaningful moment in their day, And so if you do that in the morning and night, you're already doing something small that can shift your mindset and your energy.
That's interesting. So let's recap here. What is showing up on your skin? What's showing up on your face? What's showing up in whatever the area may not be the lotion, but it may be the stress. It may be like you're stressed. It may be that you're not sleeping well.
Yeah.
It may be that you're eating foods that are not supporting you. Could also be the mindset that you're looking for magic in a bottle.
100%. And then that is also the other thing that, in that consult and in the sessions, we start to engage in that as well. Like, if you can't love yourself, if you didn't love yourself at 20, and now you're 40 and you're going, oh, Jesus, I did love myself at 20. Look how pretty I was, right? But if you don't love yourself, how can you see your own unique beauty? So helping them to shift their mindset and find that self-love and realize what is the most beautiful part of themselves. So like in that first consult that I do, I will ask, what do you love about your face or about your skin? And that is a very hard question for most of my clients. What do they love? What don't they like? And, they'll give me a laundry list of what they don't like, but what do they love? Or what do they love about themselves? So sometimes they'll say their hair, their eyes, something, but that from there you can, figure out how to accentuate that beauty that they do see, and go from there.
So then if the problem with the skin is because some skin issues might arise from the fact that I don't feel beautiful enough. Because I'm looking at the magazines and all these women look like this and my nose doesn't look like that. I don't know. There's a part of you that doesn't feel as beautiful. And so in focusing on that, you can find yourself creating stress and anxiety. And that can be the reason even the beautiful things on your face, like there might be a woman who has beautiful hair, but never takes off a wig, like is covered in wigs because
yes.
So I'm trying to ask, like, how do I resolve that if it's something inside, invisible, that says you're not beautiful? Maybe the first boyfriend I had said I'm
Yeah.
not beautiful, or the man that I was supposed to marry married a more beautiful girl. I don't know. There's women
Mm-hmm.
with like all these problems. So if you have this inherent thing that you're not beautiful enough because, I don't know, they
Mm.
didn't choose you because bam, bam, whatever the reason is, and that is really causing you like
Stress,
it's manifesting whatever the thing you like, it's
self-doubt,
making
and
it
yeah.
true, and your nose is this way, and then you're probably saying, I need, like, people who go for liposuction, I think, are your
Mm-hmm.
clients. Like, they go
Mm-hmm.
to cut the nose and it looks this way, and I'm like, maybe that's something that is kind of like, why does your
Yeah.
stomach need to be like this? Like, what's wrong with the stomach with a little bit of a bulge? So when I look at like
Mm-hmm.
people who go for liposuction, what I'm thinking is, I think this is a little bit internal. Why do you need a
Mm-hmm.
bigger nose, or a smaller nose? Why do you need a like? You're beautiful as you are.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so
That's
maybe let's talk about it in terms of like plastic surgery, because I think it's the
mm,
same. We're looking for a cream to give us the surgery or plastic surgery, make our wrinkles disappear. But then the
mm-hmm.
wrinkles and the gray hair, all that is wisdom coming to the surface. So
Correct.
walk me through that mindset, or that complex of I need to look different. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Walk me
Yeah,
through that
that's
piece.
that's a harder one. I find a lot of those clients do not want to see me because they they don't want to embrace the natural beauty. They,
Mm.
you know what I mean? But I do think that that is a conversation that should be had. I wish more plastic surgeons would have that conversation with women, especially or clients, especially when they're just continually
And
coming
the
to
same
the
people,
doctor for one thing and
yes.
then the next thing.
Mm.
But at the same time, when I first actually started um doing this and
Mm.
embracing this whole element, I started thinking about writing a book. I still haven't actually done it yet, but that was one of the first parts that I wrote about, was that I feel like women have been taught to look at themselves negatively and
Mm.
to have a laundry list of things wrong with them,
Mm.
especially in this era where, what, 20 years ago, when suddenly there were like the doctor shows of people getting liposuction, like the botched doctor and whatever else, and there's all these different plastic surgeons on TV that are, you go in, and we all know it now, that you go in to see a plastic surgeon for a consult and they literally write on you with a magic marker of all the things that they can fix, because they feel like they need to fix you
Mm.
instead of embrace who you are, and you know maybe accentuate the beauty. But like, there, because there's certain things, like I have a client who needs to have the eyelid lifted because it's sagging, it's literally affecting her health. Like, I'm not going to say like don't do that, like that makes sense, but there are certain things that I don't know, seems a little extreme. And yeah, I realized that in the spa room, when I ask people what's going on with your skin,
Mm.
not only will they give me a laundry list of what's wrong with their skin, they expect a laundry list back. Because again, these shows with these doctors are, they come in saying, I want a nose job and maybe some lip filler or Botox or something, let's say. And then the doctor starts drawing on them and showing them all the other things he can do. Like, I can lift your chin and I can do this. And so they expect me to tell them 20 more things that need doing. And in all honesty, all I want to, and oftentimes I look at them and I just say, you're beautiful, right? And they usually just kind of look at me funny. But it's like, oh, you really are. Like, yes, you might have some acne, or you might have some pigmentation issues or something that we need to address, but
Mm.
you are beautiful despite that. And um and we can do that. We can fix what's happening, but we can also acknowledge it. And I think when it comes to the coaching level, it is silly, not silly, simple little things of starting to think about gratitude, doing that mirror work where you look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. That is a very hard activity. But when people do it and do it consistently for even 5 days, there's a shift in their energy of how they feel about themselves because they do start to see it. And I think um, it's just it is a slow work. It's a work in progress, right? But, you know,
Mm,
especially if it's been 40 years of thinking that you're not good enough, it's
mm.
a lot to unpack, right? But um, but I try to help them on that journey of understanding and embracing who they are.
Take me more to the mindset piece because I feel like it's a bit big. What is
It
the
is.
kind of mindset that is required to release all the laundry lists that you have about your body, your skin, your hair, your give me a little bit of that mindset piece because I feel like it's really the state of mind that is manifesting in other ways. Personally, I
Mm,
think the skin is not the skin. The skin problem may not be the skin problem, but rather what's happening in your mind that is being
mm-hmm.
interpreted by your body. Take me
Yeah.
there a little bit of the mindset piece because I feel like it's gonna determine what you eat. It's gonna determine if you do exercise or don't do exercise. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
determine if you sleep and how long. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
determine if you say I matter or I don't. My self care matters. Like it
Yeah.
has everything to do with everything. Because
Yeah.
even taking the time, I spend like 15 minutes every night. I love to do not too much. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
maybe I do like cleanse and
Mm-hmm.
wash and
Yep.
just oil. But I love the
Yep.
night routine because I don't know. I just take my time and do it every
Yes.
night. But also that's because I say, you know, you really matter. So
Exactly.
there's
And that's
nothing
it.
that is more important than you.
Mm-hmm.
And in the morning, I
Yep.
don't care. I could just wash and brush and, you know, but in the
Yep.
night, I'm like, you deserve this. Like for me, my
Mm-hmm.
skin routine is more in the night. And I don't do much
Yes.
stuff. I don't mask. I don't, but
Mm-hmm.
even taking the time to like do these things requires a certain anchor in your mindset because life will happen, kids will be crying, your
Mm-hmm.
husband will want this, but like how do you say unapologetically I am going to carve out a time for me? Like what's the
Yeah.
mindset that drops the guilt and shame because that can creep in as well.
Oh yeah. I think when somebody commits to working with me, they're already a step, they have that step in the door. Like they want
Mm,
to improve themselves, right?
mm,
Um, so they know that doing something like doing those little things like that, honestly, a nighttime routine is actually one of the biggest things I do teach,
mm,
is building a good nighttime routine of not just our self-care, but prepping ourselves for bed and getting that right environment going for ourselves. And yeah, that can be hard with kids and a husband and all the other things going on, but it becomes, you can even build it into becoming a household thing. Like you start teaching your children how to do it, and then they are already doing it before, you know, before they even are thinking about what do I look like. They're just getting a good night's sleep, you know.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I that evening routine is, I think, the easiest to start implementing for most people. Um, Starting with caring for your skin, and then, you know, stepping away from the devices perhaps, and just maybe reading for a little while, or setting the mood in their room by, you know, putting some oils into a diffuser and creating that sleep environment where it's, you want to go into your room, you want to have a sanctuary there, and maybe rubbing
Mm.
some oils on your feet that are going to help you with sleep and calming and reducing stress, and maybe even easing pain, you know, because a lot of us, like by the end of the day, you know, you lay down and it's like you can feel the knot between your shoulders and the ache in the, so putting some oils on that are going to help ease those aches and pains from life, right? And it
Mm,
just, you're caring for yourself, you're um becoming empowered because you have the tools in your hand and in your house to help improve yourself. And from there, you start taking those little steps and making it a priority. Yeah, things are going to still sneak in. There's going to be those little moments where your brain says, "Oh, I don't look like that person." But doing the work and slowly shifting your mindset, it really can um, improve where you're at, you know?
mm,
Personally, for myself, like I have a thyroid issue. So managing a thyroid issue is really hard because then I've gained weight that I cannot, like, I'm having a really hard time losing and things like that. And it's like, I have those moments where I think to myself, oh, I'm blubby. I can't make it go away. And there's those times where you think, like, well, why do I even bother working out? But then you think, no, I have to work out because I want to be healthy and I want to live a long life. I don't want to. So yeah, we all have our moments of weakness, but
mm,
you just have to take that step forward. And knowing, I think that you have the support of me to talk to, even, sometimes it's just a conversation we end up having that helps you um not give up or not say, you know what, I'm going to sit on the couch tonight,
mm,
um knowing that you can just send a little message and be like, what's going on, like asking, for support, basically. It's
mm. What I really pick of is your skin is just a piece of what else is happening in your life. And so if your
mm-hmm,
skin is wedging a wall, chances are your life is a little bit chaotic.
mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
if the skin is giving way, maybe pause and go about how is life? Like,
Yeah.
how is life? Am I sleeping? Am I eating well? Am I resting?
Mm-hmm.
Am I taking
Yes.
a moment for me?
Mm-hmm.
Am I giving my body a second to rest? Am I putting the right things in my mouth? What is
Mm-hmm.
happening beyond this skin reaction? What is
Mm-hmm.
happening beyond me getting ill? What is
Mm-hmm.
happening beyond me getting moody? It can even just be like you're
Mm-hmm.
just moody and you're just. And so what
Yes.
I'm picking really is that, like, it's not the skin, it's how everything else is happening. And so maybe when
Yes.
you have a skin problem, whether you choose to go natural or not, the first step is take some inventory around: are you
What
sleeping?
it
Are you eating
Mm-hmm.
well? Are
Yes.
you stressed? Are you
Yep.
too worried? Are you, like, what else is happening? Start to look there, and that could give you like a good idea of what else to look at, rather than what oil am I using, what label am I
Exactly.
using, what bottle. Okay, what
Exactly.
what else
Exactly.
what else needs to be discussed about skin that we
Hmm.
haven't touched, that you want to touch because it's very important?
Yeah. Well, I think we've done well. I was gonna share a story of my good friend who had probably
Mm,
the most extreme eczema case I've ever seen. It
mm,
actually started because her hairdresser changed her hair color brand and didn't tell her. So she ended up with this eczema rash in her scalp that then spread all the way across her whole face. Like her skin was so thick and red and irritated and raw. And at the
mm,
same time, because she started getting stressed out about the way she looked and
mm,
feeling insecure, she started getting breakouts as well. So she's like,
mm,
I've got breakouts, but I'm dry, like my skin is flaking and in pain. And it just became this elevated issue, where
mm,
it wasn't just um an irritation on her skin, it literally affected how she felt about herself. It affected how she felt going out into the world. So she felt like she had to put makeup on, even though makeup really didn't feel or look good on her skin.
Also didn't
She
help.
and it didn't help exactly.
Mm,
And so she came to me going, my goal is to be able to walk out into the world without makeup and not feel self-conscious.
mm,
And uh and so I did facials on her, but I also taught her how to do certain masks that are very calming and soothing, and honestly they're so gentle that I said use them a couple times a week. And between that and then a little bit of that mindset piece of looking at the stress around her, because adding to how she was feeling about her skin, she had a very stressful life. I was like, you have to take those times. You have to start doing these little rituals that are going to help calm you down. And it took quite some time, but it turned out
mm,
she had actually really bad IBS that she didn't realize she had IBS. So she was working with a functional medicine doctor and a regular doctor as well, not just myself, but she figured out she had IBS. And so she cut out certain foods and really worked on her gut health. Um, but in the meantime, we were doing the certain skincare things. And even before her skin was fully healed, she started leaving the house without the makeup on and feeling confident, because she knew what she could do for herself, you know? So
mm,
she knew, okay, if I put this oatmeal mask on, it's going to really calm the skin. If I use this green clay mask, it's going to heal the breakout that is happening. And and also calm the skin. So she really felt empowered, because the masks that I taught her to make were things she just made in her kitchen with like 3 ingredients, very simple, very easy. And it helped her have that confidence in herself, that her skin was going in the right direction and it was getting better progressively. And ultimately, now she has great confidence in her skin, and knowing that when it does break out, like she recently moved to a warmer climate where it has a tendency to get irritated in the heat. um
mm,
she now knows how to address it, and if she hits a
mm,
wall she can call me. But she did, it really, that was probably one of the best instances of understanding what was going on physically, emotionally, and internally, and how in caring for all of it she
mm,
managed to improve her skin, and so she was working with functional medicine, she was getting massages, she was trying to manage her stress in different ways, and I think she even did some acupuncture. So like she was coming at it in all directions, but
mm,
she managed to get it under control, and that was really cool.
mm. Tell
Mm-hmm.
me about SPF, anti-aging creams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The list is endless. Creams. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know all of them. Tell me why they are not necessarily the best remedy or the best secret for aging skin. What's wrong with seeing you're 30 and you're like, oh, let me grab them before I'm 45? What's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many out there that are full of chemicals, and the
Mm,
chemicals do a number on our body. I mean, there are many, many, many brands out there that have chemicals that affect our hormones in our body. There are many that have ingredients that ultimately are known to cause cancer. And then add to it things that are dangerous for our environment. So like when you wash the lotions
mm,
off, they're going to go into the water, which then goes into the earth and is dangerous for the wildlife. So depending on to what degree you are um, mindful, it's not just ourselves, but like in all honesty, they did a study years ago where they found that women tend to put about 40 different personal care products on our bodies, or 20 personal care products on our bodies before we leave the house.
Mm.
We have about 270 chemicals in our bodies before we even leave the house, just from our personal
Oh,
care products. So,
wow.
like, and then they don't just exit our body, they actually stay in our body. So there are babies now being born in with like toxic levels of chemicals in their bodies,
Mm.
because they've again done studies where they took the blood from the umbilical cord and found, you know, tons of chemicals in these babies' blood. And so I think people are becoming more mindful of that. You know, other parts of the world have a lot more, they are, like, Europe has banned thousands of chemicals that are in
Mm.
personal care products. US has only banned 13. So, you know, we're getting there. There's a lot of talk of
Mm.
improving, but we're not where we should be. And so people need to be mindful of that. There's also a lot of products like retinol that, yes, it's vitamin A, but it can be very irritating. It can be very drying, and ultimately make our skin more sensitive. And there are a lot of younger people who are like, oh, I got to get the retinol cream because I want to be super young forever. And they think that it's not going to harm them, but it really can cause a lot of damage to their skin, or dry it out to the point, like, if you're using a retinol, you should never get waxed, like you wax your eyebrows or something, because I could literally rip a layer of skin off of your face. Yeah, because your skin gets so dry with that.
Mm.
So, it's just learning more. And I think that's another element where I like to try and empower people is, looking at something like the environmental working group. They have an app that you can look at and
Mm.
compare the ingredients in your product. So you could scan your sunscreen that you have or your lotion that you have and look at the ingredients and figure out, okay, because they range it. They say, you know, this ingredient is good, this ingredient's sort of okay, and then these ingredients are bad. And so, and then they tell you why, like, why is it good or why is it bad, and those middle range ones, so that you can kind of have control over it. And, you know, you might not be 100% of getting rid of all the chemical based things, but maybe you'll just improve it a little bit, which lowers your toxicity. You know, in our house, we do a lot of things with essential oils, and pretty much across the board. I clean with them. I use them as our self-care, um, all sorts of different things. But my husband, it still wants to use Dawn dish soap, and for him, his Pantene shampoo. And I look at it and I say, you know what? 10 years ago, we had a lot more chemicals in the house. If that's the two things you want to keep using, that's fine, you know? So, but yeah, the things like these apps can help us have a little bit of control of knowing what are we using on our skin. Um, a lot of people don't realize how many ingredients around us, both cleaning and personal care, cause cancer. Like, we wonder why so many people are getting sick. We wonder why so many people are getting different issues.
Mm.
There might be things that we could improve, you know, and make better. So yeah.
Tell me about makeup. I don't wear
Makeup.
makeup, but I'm very scared of makeup because
Mm-hmm.
every time I see someone I think it's addictive. And I think the more and more and more and more, the harder it is for the skin to just live without makeup. Tell me about makeup. I personally don't wear it because every time there is
Mm-hmm.
like a party,
Yeah.
I think the only time I wore makeup is when I had my wedding, I think. The outside of makeup of that, I think every time I wear makeup, I certainly don't feel more beautiful. And I'm like, no,
Right.
it's not happening. It's like how I got
Yeah.
rid of wigs and stuff. Like, no, this doesn't make me more beautiful. So I just got rid of it. But I
Yeah.
know my friends who can't live
Yes.
house without makeup. And it
Right.
gets very addictive. But for me, when I look at them, they look better without the makeup. But that's my lens and that's my limiting belief. I am not saying anything about the women who love their makeup. I think you're beautiful in the makeup. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, myself and Stephanie, we're just talking about makeup in our own lens. So please don't shoot us if you don't agree. But what tell me about makeup and what you make of that? Like, what do you make of and how should I don't know. How would you see makeup as a skincare specialist? And maybe, I don't know, like I see makeup as like alcohol, more like take it sparingly, or I see it as something which can eventually ruin your skin. But that's me,
Mm-hmm.
and I admit that I have my limiting beliefs about makeup because I don't wear it, but I think it's like
Mm-hmm.
fabulous for other people.
I don't really wear makeup either. I will wear a little lip gloss or
Mm,
lipstick, you know, or
mm,
maybe
mm,
a tiny bit of eyeshadow if I'm going out. Like we went to an event the other night, so I just threw a little bit on. Personally, I hate the feeling of foundation on my skin. I just I feel like it looks yucky. Um, so I've never been very keen on makeup, but I feel like it can be used to accentuate your natural beauty.
mm,
But there are so many people who do use it to mask themselves and to create an armor of defense almost. You know, I I had a family member who would literally, you know, have this specific look that she would put on when she needed to be tough, you know, and strong, you know. So it was like her red lipstick, and you know the makeup was just in a certain way, um and I just yeah, fine, go away. Sorry. Sorry. um but I honestly felt like she used it as a tool to build her confidence when she probably didn't need the makeup to do that.
mm.
I do also agree with you. I think a lot of times, especially if people are wearing a lot of makeup, um, sorry, it's chaos in here. Um,
It's a lovely dog. Just don't
thank
chase
you.
it. Bring it to the show.
Exactly.
We love dogs who want to be podcasters as well. So it's okay.
Right. Um, but I do agree. A lot of makeup, especially when I watch these videos on Facebook where people take like a pound of makeup and just massage it into their face. And I'm like, oh, like how does your skin breathe? You know? So um, you know, there are brands that are gentle and, you know, don't contain as much chemicals and things that certainly I don't mind using from time to time. But yeah, I do think it adds to that level of that self-image and
Mm,
thinking you have to hide behind the makeup instead of using it to accentuate your beauty. So, you know,
mm,
I find that when people get more comfortable with their skin and with who they are, and they
mm,
put their, you know, skincare on, and then maybe they'll start to realize, like, oh, yeah, I'll just kind of accentuate my cheekbones with a little blush. I'll put a little eyeshadow on and maybe some lips.
mm,
And that it seems that the more comfortable they get with themselves, the more simple their makeup routine becomes. Um,
mm. That's
you know,
powerful. That's
yeah.
because I personally use a lipstick or something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all. Like
Yeah.
that is it. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
else.
Yeah.
So I don't know that anyone can be as simple as that, but I do think that the more and more and more, I don't know, the more and more and more stuff I put on, the less and less and less better I feel.
Right. Yeah.
So
Because you sit there I don't know, you feel like,
So I don't know. I
do I
probably
look
need to bring
beautiful?
a makeup artist here and interview her through my limiting beliefs. Maybe that will help people.
That
But
may, it
if
may
you
help.
if you love makeup, I don't know. I have nothing against you. Enjoy your makeup. It's just not my like chill. It's like just not my peel, and I can't begin to understand. But I've also seen people who looked really good with their makeup and others who looked
Absolutely.
like it was too much. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't studied makeup. I don't know the different types of eyeliners and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
please understand that I'm only speaking from my ignorance here.
Yeah, I think there are there's a time and a place, and there's definitely people who know how to do it right and make it look
Mm,
beautiful. Um, but yeah, I think it's a matter of how you use it. And I wish more
mm,
people would teach their young girls, and I suppose boys at this point, because there are a lot of boys nowadays who do. I find it interesting that men are now learning how to use like eyebrow pencil to like fill in their eyebrows in their beard so that they look the way they want to look. But the men tend to do it very gently and very
mm,
simply, and whereas oftentimes a woman is like full face. I wish we would teach our girls and our kids to um one,
mm,
use a good quality makeup that's not full of chemicals, because how often when your child is about to start going to the store to buy some makeup, they're going to buy the cheapest brand, or we're going to encourage them to buy the cheapest brand because you
mm,
don't want to spend a ton of money when they're just learning to paint their faces with creative things. Um and oftentimes those cheap brands are the ones that are loaded with chemicals, and we don't want to make them sicker, right?
mm.
But also teaching them to use makeup to accentuate their beauty versus
Cover up. Mm,
covering it, and making them feel like they're not beautiful if they don't have it on. Like I don't understand that mindset of like, I can't leave the house without makeup on. I I'm very much in the same boat as you. But uh if people can learn to embrace that, I think it's powerful if they can learn to find a way
mm.
to just use it in a graceful way.
I don't know. I feel like there's nothing we can say that won't paint us or make us feel like we're pointing fingers. So I'll leave it at that. Whether you use
Yeah,
makeup or don't, enjoy whatever the result. Like hopefully it makes you
exactly.
really feel more like you. So if it's making you feel
Exactly.
more like you and it's making you feel like the best version of you, then amazing. But for me, when I wear
Exactly.
makeup, I'd be like, no, take it off. Like I'm like, yeah, just wash it off right away. Like it's so
Mhm.
uncomfortable and it's like that's why I stopped hair. I would go to the salon, I would sit for 6 hours
Yep.
and I would hurt so much because they would be twisting and twisting and
Yep.
twisting. And then I'll be like, okay, finally. And then I would go home and then I would try to get these braids and I'd be like, and I would be like, where did my 4 hours go? Like
Yes.
I practically
Yep.
look worse than I entered this place. So where did my 4 hours go or 6 hours? And why all this pain? And one day I got my scissors and cut off the hair and I was like, goodbye. So again, it's
Wow.
up to you and what you and I have like long, like my hair really grows like grass. But I was like,
Yeah.
to end it, like
Nope.
just to hell with it. And so
That is
now I'm
too
like
funny.
short hair, it's like the most liberating feeling I can ever get. So just find
Hmm.
that full body feeling about these things
Hmm.
and just follow your like what is the thing that makes you feel like yes. And that doesn't have to be with what other people think or like or don't like. And I think if you
A
can
hundred
find
percent.
more of you and what that I think true version of you is, which is like really just authentically from within you, whether that's with makeup or without, then you got it. You got it.
Mm-hmm. A hundred
Definitely.
percent.
Tell me about, of course, you do consulting work. and you're gonna tell me more
Mm-hmm.
about that. But I also know that you do like in person, like people can
Yeah.
come to your place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Where are
Yes,
you
I live in.
located? And
Mhm.
yeah, and if someone was like in the neighborhood, tell
Right.
us more about that.
I live in Worcester, Massachusetts in the United States, and I do skincare at a spa called 126 Post Salon and Spa. And basically, I have facials and all sorts of different treatments. I also do a lot with some body treatments, some spa treatments as well. So people can come see me and get that customized treatment in person. So yeah.
And what about the online work? How about the consulting
So
work?
online, yeah, you could do one-on-one, just month to month coaching where I do try to encourage a 3 month commitment just because uh then we have a chance to see where we've gone, and what we've
Mm,
accomplished. But I do the month to month coaching. I do have a program that is a 6 month commitment of private coaching. And then I occasionally teach specific, like 6 week long courses, one that's called Embrace Your Natural Beauty, and the other one's Heal from Within. So the Embrace Your Natural Beauty is more geared towards the women that are 40 plus, maybe going through menopause or whatnot, and
mm,
um, really focusing on the anti-aging elements, but all the things that can play a role in the changes in our bodies and how do we manage that. And then the heal from within is more of focusing on the anti-inflammatory issues. So whether that's acne or eczema or rosacea or anything like that. So you're really
mm,
dealing with those irritations on the skin and helping calm that and calm the body. So yeah, and the Embrace Your Natural Beauty, the next course I'll be teaching will be in November. And the Heal from Within, I'm going to launch a 6 week course in January. So if either of those sound interesting, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll have, I know you're going to put my how to connect with me on the website or whatever. So yeah.
mm. I love the heal within one because I feel if more people were healed within, we would have less problems with the skin,
Mm-hmm.
with hair, with all these things that people get. Um, so I love the heal within program because
Mm-hmm.
if you're healed within, like inside out, and you're living you in your
Mm-hmm.
skin, in
Mm-hmm.
your identity, I think everything else gets to be easier. Like you can easily tell. I'm not even like a skincare person, but I can go to the skin place, go give me that and not that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
exactly.
it's very easy to know what you want and what you don't, which is really very key in most things,
Yeah,
And this beauty
absolutely.
stuff. I think the first step is to really understand like what is your beauty?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
What is your
Yes.
beauty? Because for me, I decided my beauty is not in makeup and it's not in, I don't know, extended hair and it's not in what others think of me and it's not in
Mm-hmm.
the classic clothing. It's just my t-shirt and my, I don't know,
Yeah.
leggings and that's it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot that really happens with that, the inside part. And
Mhm.
I'm very excited for that. The heal within. I
Yes.
think that will be the better part of your skincare is that program
Mm-hmm.
alongside
It
whatever they're
is.
trying to get. Because whatever people are looking for in beauty is
Mm-hmm.
hidden inside, but possibly wrapped around with masks and identities and resolved feelings of maybe not being enough that they are trying to
Mm-hmm.
look for in products, which
Yes.
I don't know that is a curse. So I really like that, the heal within, because with that, then people can buy what they need and not everything they want. So I
Yes,
really like that.
exactly. Yeah.
Ultimately, the best way you can support Steph's work and my work is to pause and go, who do you know that has skin problems?
Mm-hmm.
Which person do you know that could use some relief?
Mm-hmm.
with the skin. Who do you know that is always buying the next biggest and greatest thing on the market?
Yeah.
Who do you know that is married to some, I don't know, so many companies with so many things to put on her body that no matter how many creams she buys, it's never enough. Whose bathroom do you enter and you go, wow, girl, what is all this? Like, whose bathroom do you enter and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, you don't even see anywhere because everywhere is covered with cream.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a conversation for them. So, what I would like for you to do is send them a message in their private space and say, hey, I watched this video and I thought about you. Could be helpful. And
Yeah.
what we want them to learn is that the skin is not the skin. The skin problem is not the skin problem. The skin problem is just a reflection, or it's your body saying, hey, listen, I'm stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, I don't like the food you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, I don't feel really worthy right now. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I need more sleep. But sometimes the skin condition or outburst is just saying, hey, I think you're putting on too much. I think you're worrying too much. I think I need you to
Mm-hmm.
slow down. I think I need you to calm down a little more. And
Yeah.
so, with that mindset, you can go to the skin products and have a different concept of what to do. Or you can begin to improve the areas that help the skin smile. I want to say that when your skin is not, it's showing you stuff, it's just saying, I'm not happy. And
Mm-hmm.
that is more like a message. It's like for me, when my body gets fever, I go, oh, what is my body trying to burn right now? Like,
Yes.
what is the message? When I get angry, I go, what's the message my body is giving me?
Mm-hmm.
When I get fear, I go, what am I scared of? And what is my body telling me? Am I living in the future?
Mm-hmm.
When someone keeps making me angry, I go, okay, what are the values I have that I haven't communicated to them? So I think it's the same thing as the skin. When it's giving you these outbursts, I think the question is, what is it that I am missing that is being communicated through the outburst of the skin? If
Correct.
you can start from there, because everything is information.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the information giving you from the reaction? Like when I eat a lot of oil or butters, my
Mm-hmm.
my face will do this.
Yeah.
It will bring like stuff. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, I guess it doesn't want that butter, and I just leave it. And every
Yeah.
time I start putting in oil, it just says no. And the more
Mm-hmm.
I continue, the more it brings up stuff. And so now when it starts that, I'd be like, okay, I'll leave the butter. Oh my God. And then I got something
Yep.
else. I find that
Yep.
my skin tells me what to eat.
Yes.
So instead of looking for another cream, I go, oh, I don't need to be eating that because my skin doesn't like it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what else I can try. And then I try something else. And then I try
Mm-hmm.
something else. And one day I begin to sure understand what I can eat that my skin doesn't fight with. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
that has been a way, that has been my skincare routine. Like, I don't know, it just tells me, don't eat that food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go to bed, rest
Absolutely.
some more, So
Yes.
we hope that you've really enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't yet subscribed or reviewed or rated, or please do those things because they help more than you know.
Yeah.
Steph, we're getting to the end of this. What would you like to be your parting words? Or if people didn't hear anything we said, what is it you want them to remember?
That they are beautiful,
Hmm.
and that in getting to know themselves internally and knowing
Hmm.
how their body works and knowing how to care for themselves,
Hmm.
they can absolutely shine in their own beauty.
Hmm. I have nothing to add to that. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for staying with us today. And Steph, thank you so much for pouring into the community. We really appreciate
Thank
you and
you.
celebrate you.
Thank you. I so appreciate this. This was a beautiful conversation.
Till next time, then, all my love to you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for joining this conversation on the world's best kept secret podcast today. If you feel ready to stop keeping your work a secret, head over to primajope.com and request a free conversation. Until next time, please remember that there's no prize in keeping your work a secret.